Hey cats, it's your Midsole man, Eddbud here, excited to bring you today my initial review on the Adidas Adizero Boston 13. I've reviewed loads of versions of the Boston shoe, some really great, some not. I think it did suffer from an identity crisis a little while ago, but I think they're back on track with it now. What do I make of this new one? Let's find out. Thanks for joining me on the channel, people. It's always appreciated. If you're one of the many people that have yet to subscribe, please do that. It really helps out. Also give this video a thumbs up, like, and drop us a comment as well to help that YouTube algorithm. Dankeschön. In hand and on foot, I've had the Boston 13 from Adidas. In my UK size 11, I've got 39mm of stack back in the heel. Though the midsole does state here, apparently the sample size is 36. That pretty much ties in with what usually happens with running shoes for me. Remember, bigger, longer shoe, slightly higher stack. About 34mm up front, making for a 5mm drop. Does feel that way on foot as well, and in use it kind of stays out the way of your foot strike a little bit. My pair are weighing 292 grams, that's 10.3 ounces. So that's a little bit lighter than the Boston 12. A slightly lighter version of a shoe is always appreciated. Biggest improvement here in the Boston 13 is the inclusion of more Lightstrike Pro material in the midsole, though it is the Lightstrike Pro material that you've got from the Adios Pro 4, not the older stuff. That means instantly out the box this one is a little bit more exciting underfoot, a little bit more compressive, a little softer. In fact, that's one of the many similarities between the Boston 13 and the Adios Pro 4, as you'll find out in this video. I'm measuring about short A 23 for that Lightstrike Pro stuff and 35 for the Lightstrike section, which goes through the heel into the midfoot. So you've got a mixture there of softness, kind of more luxurious feel up front, and a slightly firmer, more controlled feel on the back. These cost me about 128 quid on discount. Nobody sent them to me. Easily one of the best value running shoes I've bought this year, or perhaps the last 18 months even. We'll kick it off with the upper first. A nice flexible mesh throughout the upper here in the Boston 13. A few strategically placed reinforcements around the toe box and the heel section to provide a little bit of structure. Got this one on foot and I find it true to size. It's a little bit wider of a fit than the Adios Pro 4, but I don't think you need to go up a half size. You're going to have too much room here in the toe box otherwise. Lacing is simple. It mimics the Adios Pro 4 practically in every way. They do come with two sets of laces out the box. Aesthetically, I think I prefer the grey ones rather than the green, which mimics the colour we got here on the three stripes. Tongue is beautifully padded. It has most of its padding up here in the business end of the lacing. I didn't get any lace tension or pressure on top of the foot whatsoever. In fact, I wore them for about 12 miles of running and then around Legoland for a couple of days, and it feels like they are made to measure for me. Really comfortable shoes, these. I really like the material here. It's quite breathable. It's been very warm, in fact, the last few days here in the UK. Haven't ever felt like they were too hot on foot. Adidas kind of knocking it out of the park with the upper on the Boston 13. There is some gusseting on the tongue here. Does help to keep it centralized, so you're not going to get any tongue slide. Just a really well-crafted upper. Perhaps one only drawback is that the lace length is a little bit short, though they are the more premium laces here rather than those you got on the Adios 9 or even on the Evo SL. In fact, this shoe makes the Evo SL look like bad value. I'll give this one a 2.9 out of 3 for the upper so far. Midsole, midsole, midsole now. So this shoe is a whole lot more responsive than the Boston 12 due to the switch up in that Lightstrike Pro formula. It did respond to some break-in miles, mainly for that Lightstrike section in the heel of the shoe, but once you got through those, it's a really nice, comfortable, smooth ride. I found this one fantastic at some more easy paces, perhaps moving into that sort of marathon pace. Perhaps not the ideal shoe if you're looking to do like a 5k or 10k race, or doing sort of very fast anaerobic sort of reps, but for pretty much everything else the Boston 13 shines. Could be a superb longer run shoe for some people that are going to put in some slightly faster intervals within that longer session. I mean, if you want to do some faster stuff, you've got the Adios 9, haven't you? That caters for that. If you want max cushion options, well, Adidas have got those too. but this covers many bases. The closest thing to this shoe, I suppose, from any other manufacturer would perhaps be the ZoomX equipped Zoomfly 6 from Nike, or perhaps even the Deviate Nitro 3 from Puma. Those shoes are a little bit more expensive, and the Puma at least a little bit heavier. But if you're after upfront width here in the forefoot, then this could be a great option for you. Certainly a lot more space in this one as compared to the Puma. The rods provide some nice snap on toe off and also help to keep the shoe very stable overall. I think it's a really big update really. When you consider that the Boston 12 is a really great shoe, this is just even better. Some nice subtle improvements and changes here to push the model forward slightly. So a great versatile shoe in terms of the weight, and it will cover lots of different sessions for you. I'll give it a 2.9 out of 3 for the midsole so far. Outsole here we have light traction and continental rubber together, and what a great combo. There's a decent slab of it here. I mean, it's not the thickest application ever, but it's certainly more towards a trainer rather than a racer. I like where they've positioned the different types of rubber as well. It does seem to have a bit of thought there. Continental in the heel, perhaps where you're going to make most contact, and then of course in that toe off area. It's only one section here of that continental where you're going to get any stones. Got one right here. The rest of it, it's not really gonna grab and hang on to too much grit and grime. It's certainly a road and pavement shoe. I wouldn't recommend you take this one out on the trails, although this time the rods are a little bit more protected than they were before. So as I said, the depth of rubber not quite as shallow as the Adios 9 or the Pro 4. I'm keeping in mind the price here though and what it's able to do. I think it's certainly a slightly better outsole than the Zoomfly 6, and that was very good. But we know that the continental rubber lasts much longer than Nike's rubber formula. Felt assured on cornering and on very sharp bends, and going up hills I really felt I was sort of gripping onto the ground, which is one thing that I've always found with that Boston shoe. It does seem to have some decent outsole traction. I'll give this one a 2.9 out of 3 for the outsole. Just that front section of the Continental with that little ridge around it, it's gonna pick up some dirt and grime, and those small rocks, so you're gonna need the jeweler's screwdriver. Value wise, at 140 notes at retail, I think this is a real banger of a shoe. You got loads of that Light Strike Pro formula, the new stuff that's much softer and more energizing and engaging. A great option for all runners really, a really nice fit here. The width is there, and you've got the use case versatility. That Zoomfly 6 coming in as her closest competitor, but it is a bit more expensive. Shoe is very good from a build perspective. From the tenner extra that you're going to pay on top of the Evo SL, you're getting the newer Light Strike Pro formula here, the energy rods, a better upper, better outsole rubber as well, and more of it. Just feels like a bit more care has gone into crafting the Boston 13 over the Evo SL. That just felt like a casual lifestyle shoe to me. Did improve over time, but it's that old Light Strike Pro formula rather than this new one. They've even upgraded the laces here. They're a better quality. So for a tenner, is it worth it over the Evo SL? The answer is absolutely yes. I'll give this one a 2.8 out of 3 for value so far. Perhaps the only downside of it, it just could be a little bit lighter on foot. Okay, if I've totaled the scores up correctly, for the Adidas Adizero Boston 13, we've got a score of 11.5 out of 12. Superb value for money this one, and one of the best I've tested out in 2025 so far. Have you picked up a pair of these? Is it on your shopping list? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. Musical interlude today is from Kurt Vile with an album from 2015, 10 years ago, Believe I'm Going Down. Really love the track Wheelhouse on this album. In fact, it's a really good one if you're going to go out there and do a longer run. It always seems like an album I get drawn to like a magnet when the summer arrives and the temperatures are going up. Getting out there in the sun, get the shades on, nice slower pace, taking in the scenery, taking in nature. Wheelhouse has got that really earthy feel, very sort of woody sound to it. Those repeating riffs, a little bit of echo and reverb on the guitar. It's just a really dreamy track, and ideal for the sort of summer conditions. Go and check it out. It's called Wheelhouse. It's from Kurt Vile and his album Believe I'm Going Down. Thanks for tuning in, people. Always appreciated. Hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up like. Drop us a comment as well to help with that YouTube algorithm. My name's Eddbud and I'll be seeing you